Hey guys, welcome back to the What Life. This is a quick Zwift race. I've actually cut it quite short. We do lap 1, then we do lap 4. I actually did this race earlier in the week. I thought I'd give it another go because a buddy messaged me this morning and just said he was diving in. He's in the purple Galaxy kit. You'll see him come kicking past in a second. I went off the line quite hard. The reason I wanted to dive into this one, even though it's such a nice weekend in the UK and the weather is beautiful, is because there were a lot less people. It's 28 people actually in the race. There's Rob in the purple Galaxy kit, just sat to my right. And there were a lot less people. I did this Tuesday, 100 people, 45 person front group. This course isn't very interesting. It's Nokia, which I presume is Tokyo at night. But I thought, what the hell? It's always quite good threshold training when you get into a good group. And I also wanted to see what the difference is. Like, what's the difference between having 25 people and having 100 people? And there is a massive difference. This race felt so... I think I'm also feeling a bit better. I felt a bit stronger today. But it did feel like a slow race. Never really kind of hit that threshold of working too hard to try and stay on the group. And that was a massive difference. I just wanted to make sure that my fitness wasn't getting worse and that like these faster big person races, that it wasn't just me feeling horrible. They are just harder races with more people, but that's my 2 cents for you. But we'll dive into this one. I don't know why. I didn't really find it that interesting. It's not a particularly interesting course. Sorry for dragging you guys into this one again. But it's Nokia. It's 2.4 miles, whatever that is, 3 and a bit K a loop. We have this lead in, then it's 4 loops, 2 power-ups each loop, and the power-ups are Draft Boost and Ghost. Obviously, you see someone dive in the chat in the last lap, or one of the laps, I think I might have cut it out. Basically, no one spoke in the chat again this this race, which does kind of takes a bit of the enjoyment away from me, because I quite like diving in the chat, just saying stuff, and even if it's just small things like, just noticing changes in pace or anything like that. Like, I always like it if someone just kind of comes back and says something. It creates that community feel. That's what I like. There's me in the chat, obviously. I think I'm the only person that writes in the chat again this ride. But the thing that I found that was different to this race, and the reason I thought I'd bang it up on YouTube, is because it was an easier, lower pace for the first 3 laps, my heart rate stayed around or below 150, and then the last lap you'll see it dives into 150-ish, a little bit over. But then it kind of changed my dynamic towards the end. So rather than just kind of holding on for dear life and trying to cross the finish line and gasping for air and coming 28th, 30th, 40th out of a group of front group of 50, with a front group of 25 and with the power not really being pushed too much during the ride, I thought I'd change the tactic up a little bit. And so I just wanted to basically see whether I could push for the line like a little bit earlier. So I actually kind of, in the last loop, which you'll see in a bit when we cut to it, it was just a change of tactics and seeing whether I could put a sprint in and what the vibe is. We'll see it when we get to it, but this is a big group. It was very quick to realise that nice low heart rate, 138, riding at 220. So I guess I really found that maybe I'd been overexerting myself last week. I did 2 Zwift races, both of which were on the cusp of what I'm capable of doing and just holding on for dear life. They were 22 to 25 minute threshold hard work sessions. And then I went to race the TT on the Sunday last weekend, and that was super hard as well. And I think my body was just like, you are cooked, you're knackered, your central nervous system just can't keep doing this. You're 40 years old. What are you doing? But then I found that this time, diving into this race, I felt a lot better. My heart rate was a lot lower. Everything felt a bit more back to normal. Obviously, like I said, the pace was a little bit slower, but I also didn't feel too bad when I did this earlier in the week, which is, these are all positive things and really good takeaways. And I kind of you get in your own head about whether you're actually improving as a cyclist or getting better or worse. And I kind of felt like, oh my God, I put 7-8 months of training in on the bike, 5,000 miles. Am I getting any better? I think this was nice to realize. And we've just jumped to the last loop, which I'll talk us through in a second. But it's nice to realize that in actual fact, you haven't got worse. And in actual fact, I do think I am improving and things are getting better, even if it is just a case of holding the same wattage, but it feels a bit easier. So we're coming into the last lap, and I don't know why. Look, heart rate is now 156, 157. If I push that heart rate, the aim is to always try and get up into 170, 172, 174 on the last sprint. If I have the effort left in my legs, if any strength left in my legs, then I can do that. I still found this last loop was quite easy. It wasn't like too much of a hammer fest. I did put it in the chat before we got onto the last lap, just saying like, "Oh, we're going to hammer this lap. Like, what's the vibe? Like, this last lap should be hot." It didn't seem to go that way, but I can't really complain because I'm sat at the back, just kind of getting the vibe. I think basically what happened is I'd worked quite hard coming into the last lap to try and pick the pace up, just to see if anyone was going to come with, and just see if we could just hold a faster pace. And then once I got into this last lap, I realised that in actual fact, all I'm doing is just sitting on the front and working hard, and everyone sat behind me, and there was very little benefit from it. So I decided to switch it up and see whether I could drop to the back of the pack a little bit and try and recover, let my heart rate drop down a bit, which actually did work. There was, with being 25 people, there was a slight change in dynamic in the last lap of the race, but there's no gradient change. It's deadpan flat, so it doesn't really give too much of an opportunity to break the race up. If you're going to attack, you just got to attack hard, and that was the mistake that I made. And you'll see it in a second, just not attacking hard enough when I decided to go, or try and go anyway. So you got a big group. There's still 22 of us up front in a 28, 29 person race, 27 person race, however many people. This was about recovering, trying to like keep my heart rate low, trying to find a good position. I don't like being on the outside. I like coming through the middle. Obviously you get a bigger draft effect. I've got a ghost, obviously completely pointless. There is one more power up bridge, so we will go under the arch one more time to get one last power up. Wattage through here, my average wattage for the entire race was 245, which I was pretty happy with. My average heart rate was 155, which I'm really happy with. So it felt soft. And that's me saying that, guys. I'm not a professional cyclist. I'm nowhere near a semi-professional cyclist. I am, by definition, just a cyclist. But I'm still going to say it, that I did feel like it was a little bit soft. And that is a comforting and, I guess, positive takeaway to kind of come out of a crit race or any bike race and feel that, you could have done more. I will say that I was pretty spent on the finish line. I've been riding every day of the week. I love my bike. I love my Zwift. So I never really come into these like box fresh. There's always something. Anyway, this is where it starts getting interesting. As soon as we get onto the cobbles, then that's when it's kind of go time. I was trying to goad people into pushing a little bit harder by just getting in the chat and just saying, say when are we going to go? I think when I was riding this the other night, as soon as we hit the cobbles, it was like a hammer fest. People just went for it. So this was me sitting at 200 watts, 154 heart rates. That's super comfortable, or not super comfortable. It's comfortable enough. 1 mile to go, and I just kind of thought, right, be in the mix, get up front, see what the deal is. So I use my ghost coming under the arch, and I'm wondering, like, I basically only just get to use it in time. Use it, go under the arch, pick up another power up, which I think I get the draft effect. Someone goes off, and I'm holding 400 watts, 430, 440, 430 again. I was like, well, look, I'll use my ghost and just ride off a little bit. So I push up with the two guys that someone's done the same thing. What I should have done is just gone so much harder, back up to 480, 400. I should have just really gone for this. And when I dropped down below, kind of look back up 450. So this was a bit of an effort just to try and ride it out. And I'm not strong enough to hold it and just put the kilowatts in from there. But it was a good learning lesson because it's back up to 400. That I should have gone harder. I should try and hold it more. I should really work it. I should really put myself in that death zone. The group catches me up. There's Rob to my left in the purple, the GXY, the Galaxy kit, 380. This is the third time I've raced him. Third time he's beaten me. I kind of holding 400 watts, and that's a pretty good finish. You'll see in a minute on the critical power chart that I do kind of put a new 1 minute or 28 day I don't know what it is on the critical power, but whatever you call it, like a critical power 1 minute average kind of best time, best wattage. And we're back in the pack now. We've got 2 guys that have gone off front, or 3 guys off front. I decide that there's no point trying to like ride out of this pack. I'm in the group, just try and sit on it, keep your positioning pretty good, and then just kick as soon as we come off the turn. Just try and kick, and then you can see just how weak my kick was. Everyone else kind of kicks up ahead of me, and that's it, guys. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was really good to do it again for a second time. Didn't feel as tough, didn't feel as hard. 245 watt average, 3.2 watts per kg, 150 average HR, which is super low for me, or very low for me. We're 45 seconds slower than when we did this on Tuesday night, or 48 seconds or something like that. So we definitely left some stuff on the road. But let's have a quick look at I think we dive into the critical power chart. There you go. And you can just see that my kind of 1 minute, just over 1 minute critical power. Yeah, there we go. See you on the next one, guys. That was a really fun race.